The very first one is to keep oneself to oneself. If you keep yourself to yourself, you don't share much about your life and prefer to stay private. It's often used to describe someone who avoids socializing as someone who is just temporarily busy. For example, he's a nice guy, but he keeps himself to himself so nobody knows much about him. Come to oneself. This means to regain awareness, control, or a clear state of mind after being upset, unconscious, or extremely emotional. It's used when someone wakes up from fainting or realizes they were acting irrationally. For example, she was in shock after the accident, but after a few minutes, she came to herself and started talking again. Lose oneself. If you lose yourself in something, you become completely absorbed, forgetting everything else around you. This can happen when reading a great book, listening to music, or doing something you love. For example, she lost herself in the painting, spending hours working without realizing how much time had passed.
Lose oneself in another world.
In which one can lose oneself?
Be full of oneself. If someone is full of themselves, they are arrogant and think they are more important than they actually are. This is used in a negative way to describe people who love to brag or show off. For example, ever since he got promoted, he's been full of himself and acting like he's the CEO. Pull oneself together. This means to regain control over your emotions after being upset, scared, or shocked. It's often used when someone needs to stop panicking and focus. For example, I know you're nervous before the speech, but pull yourself together and just do your best.
Pull yourself together!
Pull yourself together, Teddy. Pull yourself together.
Do oneself justice. When you do yourself justice, you perform as well as you are truly capable of, especially in a test, competition, or big moment. It's used when someone has the skill but might not be showing it fully. For example, she was so nervous during the interview that she didn't do herself justice. Avail oneself of. This means to take advantage of an opportunity, service, or resource that is available. It's often used in formal situations, not in casual conversation. For example, you should avail yourself of a free training program to improve your skills. Throw oneself at someone. If someone throws themselves at another person, they try too hard to get attention, usually in a romantic way. It's often used to describe desperate or exaggerated flirting. For example, she was throwing herself at him all night, but he didn't seem interested. Kill oneself. This can mean to commit suicide, but it can also be used figuratively to mean working extremely hard or putting in too much effort. Be careful of the context. When used seriously, it's a sensitive topic. For example, he's been killing himself at work lately, staying late every night.
I think if one's going to kill oneself,
Put oneself in someone's shoes. This means to imagine how someone else feels, especially in a difficult situation. It's used when talking about empathy and understanding another person's struggles. For example, before judging her, put yourself in her shoes. She's dealing with a lot right now.
For once, put yourself in someone else's shoes.
Put yourself in my shoes.
Help oneself. This means to take something for yourself, especially food or drinks, without waiting for permission. It's commonly used when offering someone food at home or at a party. For example, dinner's ready. Help yourself to whatever you like. Throw oneself on the mercy of. This means to beg for kindness, forgiveness, or second chance, usually from someone in power. It's often used in legal or serious situations where a person has no other options. For example, after missing the deadline, he threw himself on the mercy of his professor, hoping for an extension.
Throw yourself on the mercy of the court.
I throw myself on your mercy. Please release